Have you ever stood on a stage in a cap and gown, diploma in your hand, and realized the people who swore they loved you were actually erasing you from the family tree with a gold-plated pen? My name is Sloane Hart, and I swear on every grave in the Willow Creek Cemetery. What I did after that moment was not revenge in the beginning. It was just breathing. I grew up on the wrong side of the right side of town, if that makes sense. Our porch was painted, our bills were paid, but the money was always 2 weeks away from running out. Dad managed a failing hardware store that smelled like fertilizer and old men's coffee. Mom sold candles that smelled like cookies, so the house could pretend we were baking instead of rationing electricity. I had one sibling, younger by 5 years, a brother we called Gabe. He was the golden one, blonde, loud, fearless. I was the quiet girl who read the dictionary for fun and knew how to stretch a jar of peanut butter until it looked like a pantry was full. The first time I understood I was disposable, I was 7. Gabe had snapped the head off my only Barbie and I cried. Mom said, "Stop it, Sloane, you are being dramatic. It is just plastic. You are lucky we bought you anything at all." Then she handed Gabe a $5 bill for candy and told him he deserved it for putting up with his sister. I remember staring at that bill and thinking, okay, so that is the price of being loved here. $5. Fast forward 17 years. I am valedictorian of a high school that still has a smoking corner for the seniors. Full ride to state for biochemical engineering. I worked nights at the truck stop diner where the fryers popped like gunshots. Came home smelling like bacon grease and still kept a 4.2. My parents never came to a single meet, match, or science fair, but they sure as hell bragged to the neighbors. Our daughter is going to cure cancer and buy us a beach house. I laughed it off, because laughter is cheaper than therapy. Graduation day, May 27th, humid enough to steam the tassels. The stadium announcer calls my name last for special recognition. Board of Trustees Award, 1 kid per decade. I walk across the stage, heart in my throat, and I scan the bleachers for Mom's sunflower yellow dress. I spot her, finally, next to Dad and Gabe. They are not smiling. They are holding a white business envelope like it is a hospital chart. I think maybe it is a card with $20 and a scripture. I float back to my seat, clutching my fake leather diploma cover, and I wait for the caps to fly. After the music stops, I find them under the bleachers. Mom's eyes are red, but not from pride. Dad's jaw is set the way it was the night he kicked the dog for barking. Gabe will not look at me. Mom hands me the envelope. Inside are 3 sheets of paper, crisp, legal cold. The first line reads, "Petition for emancipation of parental rights and obligations." I flip to the last page. Their signatures slash across the bottom like knife wounds. My brain shorts out. I hear Mom say, "We have done the math, Sloane. You are 18. You are smart. You will be fine." Dad adds, "We cannot afford to keep pretending we are a family. We are selling the house, starting over. You are not part of that equation." Gabe mutters, "Sorry, sis." But he is staring at his new sneakers, the ones I paid for with my diner tips. I laugh. It comes out like a dying animal. I ask, "Is this a joke?" Mom shakes her head and I see it. The tiniest flicker of relief, like she just dropped a heavy suitcase. Dad checks his watch and says, "We have a flight to Tampa in 2 hours. Keys to the Buick are on the front seat. You can keep the car till we sell it." Then they walk away. 3 silhouettes against the stadium lights, and they do not look back. I stand there until the janitor kicks me out. I drive to the diner because it is the only roof left. The night manager lets me sleep in the break room as long as I am gone before the breakfast shift. I cry into my apron until the fabric is salty enough to season fries. Around 3 in the morning, I open the glove compartment looking for napkins, and I find a folded letter. I have never seen. The envelope is thick, cream-colored, expensive. Inside is a single sheet. At the top is a gold-embossed logo, Hart Ventures, LLC. The letter is addressed to me. It is from a man named Everett Hart, Chief Executive Officer. The first sentence says, "If you are reading this, your parents have done exactly what I predicted they would do." My heartbeat starts sounding like a countdown. Everett Hart is my grandfather. I have never met him. Mom told me he was dead, a heart attack when I was 2. Apparently he is very much alive and, according to Google, worth north of $400 million. The letter continues, "I have watched your grades, your work ethic, your kindness to the night janitor at the diner. I have also watched your parents spend the monthly trust I sent for your care on boats that never leave the driveway. The trust terminates the moment you turn 18, but the inheritance I planned for you does not. If you are willing to fight, Come to the address below. Bring the enclosed silver coin. It is the key. I flip the letter over. Taped to the back is a 1964 silver dollar, the year my mom was born. I have nothing left to lose, so I drive. The address is 3 hours away, a glass and steel tower that reflects the sunrise like it is burning. I walk into the lobby in my wrinkled graduation gown because it is the only coat I own. Security tries to stop me, but I hold up the coin like it is Excalibur. A woman in a charcoal suit appears, nods once, and escorts me to the 42nd floor. The elevator is so quiet I can hear my pulse. The doors open into an office the size of my old high school gym. Behind a desk that looks carved from a glacier sits Everett Hart. He is 80-something, lol. Hair white as salt, eyes sharp as broken glass. He studies me for a long moment, then says, "You have her cheekbones." I do not know if he means my mother or my grandmother, and I'm too afraid to ask. He gestures to a chair. "Your parents forfeited their share of my estate when they forged your signature on last year's tuition check and cashed it for home theater seats. I have been waiting for them to abandon you so I could legally adopt you back into the family you never knew existed." I blink. "Adopt me? I am 18. He smiles, cold and small. "Not child adoption, heir adoption. I need a successor who is hungry, honest, and angry enough to guard the castle. You start today. I should feel rescued. Instead, I feel traded. Still, I sign the papers, because food and shelter beat the backseat of a Buick. Everett assigns me a corner apartment in the company tower, a credit card with no limit for essentials, and a mentor named Julia who speaks 6 languages and scares me more than he does. The first week is a blur of contracts, balance sheets, and non-disclosure agreements thick as Bibles. I learn that Hart Ventures owns half the commercial real estate in the state, plus a biotech wing that patents genetically modified drought-resistant corn. I also learn that Mom and Dad have already blown through the Tampa house flip money and have applied for a bridge loan against a property they do not yet own. Everett shows me the application on his screen and says, "Options?" My mouth answers before my conscience can duck. "Approve it. Then call the note the minute they sign." He grins like a wolf who just tasted blood. For the next 6 months, I live in 2 worlds. By day, I am Sloane Hart, heir apparent, learning how to move millions with a keystroke. By night, I scroll my family's social media like a ghost. Gabe posts videos of his new tattoo, Mom's name inside a heart. Dad tweets golf quotes. Mom sells essential oils now, captions full of sunshine and fake gratitude. They never mention me. It is erasure so complete it feels like murder without a body. Each zero balance notification I get from their credit monitoring service, Everett added me to the alerts, is a private firework. They are drowning and they do not know I am holding the hose. Thanksgiving arrives. The office empties. I stay because I have nowhere else to go. Julia finds me in the conference room staring at a projection of foreclosure timelines. She sets a flash drive on the table. Security footage from the night your high school. Lab burned down senior year. I stare. The fire was ruled faulty wiring. One janitor lost a lung. I always wondered why my parents cashed an insurance check 2 weeks later. Julia continues. Your father needed the money to cover a boat loan. Your mother distracted the guard. Your brother poured the accelerant. My legs disappear. I sit on the carpet and replay the clip. Gabe. Hood up. Gasoline slosh. Laugh like a video game villain. The timestamp is 10 minutes after I left the lab with my scholarship certificate. They risked a man's life to erase a debt I did not even know existed. I throw up in a trash can. Julia waits, stone-faced, then says, Your grandfather will handle prosecution if you want. Or you can handle it. I ask what she means. She shows me a second file, a purchase agreement for the Tampa property, already in default, already scheduled for public auction. The opening bid is set exactly at the amount of the insurance payout plus interest. She says, win the auction, evict the occupants, own the narrative, or let the state do it and watch from afar. I feel the coin in my pocket, the one that started this avalanche. I say, I want to be the one who knocks. December 3rd, courthouse steps, chill wind whipping ties like nooses. I wear a charcoal coat that costs more than my childhood home. Mom and Dad arrive in a rented Corolla, faces pinched. They do not see me behind the sunglasses. The auctioneer starts. Dad bids the minimum. I raise my paddle and double it. He turns, recognizes me, and the color leaves his skin like someone pulled a plug. Mom gasps my name as if it is a swear. I raise the bid again. Gabe is not there. He is inside the house, posting goodbye videos to Instagram. Dad matches once, voice shaking. I triple. The gavel falls. I own the house they thought would save them. I do not smile. I simply hand the clerk a certified check and walk away while they shout questions that end in exclamation marks. Everett gives me the keys that night. Eviction is your call, he says. I drive to Tampa at dawn, knock, and they open the door before I can even breathe. Mom collapses to her knees. Dad whispers, "Please, Sloan, we are family." I step inside. The walls smell of fresh paint and panic. I tell them they have 24 hours to vacate. I say it softly, almost kindly, which scares them more than yelling. Gabe appears, eyes bloodshot. He starts to speak, but I hold up the flash drive. His mouth snaps shut. I leave a sealed envelope on the counter and walk out. Inside is a cashier's check for 10 grand, exactly the amount they once spent to pretend I did not exist, and a printed copy of the arson footage. On the back I have written, "You are lucky I am not the state. Cash this, disappear, or I forward the file." They choose cash and vanish. Social media goes dark. Last I hear, they moved to Reno and work at a call center selling extended car warranties. I forward the arson file anyway, anonymously. The janitor's family deserves the settlement. I wire them $2 million from a foundation I create in the dead man's name. It does not erase the footage of Gabe's laugh, but it quiets the sound enough that I can sometimes sleep. Everett dies the following spring. Heart attack on the squash court mid-swing. The will is ironclad. I inherit everything. Companies, land, debt, and the coin collection he started the year I was born. At the reading, Julia hands me a final letter. His handwriting shakes across the page. Power is only revenge if you use it to balance the scales. Do not become them. Become the storm that cleans, not the one that merely destroys. I fold the letter and tuck it. With the silver dollar. I wonder if he knew the storm was already inside me. Rotating, looking for the next target. Years pass. I run the empire with chilled efficiency. Employees fear me. Competitors respect me. Charities flatter me. I date, but every time someone says I love you, I hear Mom's voice. You are lucky we bought you anything at all. I never answer with, I love you, back. I answer with gifts so expensive they feel like bribes. Because that is the only currency of love I understand. One night I am scrolling a small-town newspaper from Reno. I see a mugshot. Gabe, eyes hollow. Arrested for identity theft. He had been skimming credit cards from the call center seniors. The article mentions our parents, eviction notice, medical debt, living in a motel that charges by the week. I close the laptop, but the image sticks like burnt rice to a pan. I tell myself they are ghosts, that ghosts cannot hurt me anymore. Then the doorbell rings at 3 a.m. Security cams show Mom, hair gray, body thin, holding a manila envelope. She looks straight into the lens and says, I know you are watching, Sloan. I have something you need. Let her in because curiosity is stronger than fear when you have already lost everything once. She sits in the marble kitchen, hands shaking around a cup of tea she does not drink. The envelope contains a single page, my original birth certificate. Fatherline blank. Motherline reads, Everett Hart. I stare, brain stuttering. Mom smiles, sad and triumphant. He did not want a scandal, so he paid me to raise you as his grandchild. When the money stopped, I stopped pretending to love you. I thought if I pushed you away, you would run to him and I would be free. Turns out I was just early to my own exile. She stands, leaves the paper and walks out before I can form a sentence. I stand there until the tea turns cold, until the sun rises and the staff arrives and the world pretends to be normal. So the man I called grandfather was actually my father. The woman I called mother was my paid warden, and the storm I thought I inherited was brewed in my own blood. I drive to the cemetery. I stand over Everett's grave and I laugh until security threatens to call the cops. I laugh because revenge is a mirror, and the face in it is always your own. I go home, pour a glass of something expensive, and stare at the city lights blinking like error messages. I think about forwarding the arson file again, about buying the motel in Reno and evicting them a second time, about wiring another $1 million to the janitor's widow, about burning the whole empire down just to feel the heat on my face. Instead, I open a new document. I title it, Last Will and Testament of Sloan Hart. I leave every dollar to the janitors, grandchildren, every property to the tenants who never missed rent, every secret to the public domain. I sign it, seal it, and place the silver dollar on top. Then I turn off the lights, sit in the dark, and wait for the storm to pass or to swallow me whole. Man, you have no idea. How quiet the world gets when you finally own everything, except the one thing you needed. Proof that you were ever really wanted. If you still think family is about blood, hit subscribe because next week, I will tell you how I donated my DNA to a genealogy site and watched 3 more graves dig themselves.